Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hi, I'm Rose Davidson from Talking with the Experts. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Global Glamping Charities for their valued support. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org.
Talking with the Experts.
In episode 446, Carla Titus discusses all things about finances from startup to management level.
But in the early stages, I want you to really focus about creating that business plan and projections and goal setting so that you're proactive about the direction you're taking with a business on growing it, so that you don't get distracted by all the things that come up with, growing a business. You can buy the course and the coach and the thing and that, and all of those are created for you to spend money out of the business instead of generating money into the business. Now, if you're getting a great return on investment, an ROI from your coach helping you grow faster and quicker, helping you avoid mistakes, by all means, go ahead and make the investment. Just be very critical about how is this benefiting my business and how am I going to see this money back? And if I don't, when does it stop? When do we end that investment and shift to the next one? Because I see too often people are just not getting the benefit and they're like, well, it's going to work. It's okay. One more month. And then 12 months later, they still haven't changed a thing and they're out.
Talking with the Experts.
Hello, welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. Today, my guest is Carla Titus, and Carla is an absolutely amazing human. She's a result-driven professional who values building lasting relationships. She's a natural-born leader with a mission to empower people to take control of their finances. She's a lifelong learner and an entrepreneur who is building a business helping people and businesses improve their financial outlook. She's a woman champion helping close the confidence and wage gap through thoughtful coaching and mentoring. And Carla is going to be discussing with us all things finances from startup to management level. Welcome, Carla, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, how we'll get started with the nitty-gritty. What are the main things that a startup needs in their financials? Because we all know that there's online programs, and I know you can just start with a spreadsheet, but if for those of us like me who don't like numbers and have no interest in, entering things into a spreadsheet, what can we do to overcome those challenges?
Yeah, I think, first of all, for those of you who maybe are not good at numbers or don't enjoy the number side of your business, we all understand the importance of it and making sure that you're in tune with it. That does not mean you have to do it all. And I think this is where a lot of business owners forget that there's options and that you just need to know enough to ask the right questions, and then the rest can be handled for you. That's why outsourcing your finances and working with a partner that can help you guide to minimize the amount of time and stress that your finances are costing you is going to be very advantageous in your business growth and path. It also helps you, obviously, to delegate things out of your plate so they actually get done and that you get the right information when you need it. To answer your question around like systems and just what type of things should we have in place when we're just getting started, especially if you're not enjoying or fond of the numbers, you should look for automation in all your financial processes and accounting as much as you possibly can afford to. starting with an accounting software. You can absolutely start with an Excel spreadsheet, but if you hate the numbers, you're probably not going to be logging in to enter any information on a spreadsheet manually. So we want to just veer away from that from the beginning, knowing that you just don't enjoy it, and make sure that we can minimize, again, the amount of time we're investing. Because if we're not investing money, we're investing our time. And sometimes our time is worth more than the money we spend on something. So make it easy on yourself. Connect it to something like an industry standard tool like QuickBooks or any other accounting softwares out there that you feel really works for you and that you can do fairly quickly. It's very intuitive, and that you're going to commit to logging in at least once a month to handle this. And even if you're not the one doing it, I just want you to check in on the numbers and have an idea of what's going on. You can outsource the bookkeeping. You can have someone categorize it for you. You can have someone reconcile the books for you. And once that's done, you can even opt to have an profit and loss statement emailed out to you, so you actually don't even have to log into the tool. The tool is just helping you with the automation and overcoming getting behind on bookkeeping monthly, so you have no idea what's going on. You don't know if you did better or worse than last month, and you have no idea how you're going to change things going forward to improve on them because you're not measuring them. So by having to remove all that friction and just make it easy for you to get a once a month report on your email, if that's what you prefer, because you hate logging into accounting tools, then by all means do that. Outsource the books early on so that you don't have to be concerned with it anymore.
Good point. Yeah, start early, and so you don't get behind, and don't leave it till the end of the financial year, because then there's a lot of work to do and you'll get totally overwhelmed. Now, what about progressing through the business? So once someone starts to scale their business, even if it's just adding 1 or 2 team members, what then should they be looking out for?
So then you start to get into the more complex financial side of the business. Maybe you have to put some people on payroll. And that can be very tricky, especially if you're not someone who does payroll for a living or has that inside knowledge on how you should run payroll. So that's where we want to pair up our accounting system with another payroll system that communicates with each other, so that, again, we're not doing the manual human glue of connecting the two. Is just automatically being done for you and recorded. And pick a tool that, that is what they do for all people, meaning they provide payroll services. That is what they do. They're good at it. They know how to do it, and they do it for a lot of people. Because what that saves you is the headaches of knowing, are you compliant with requirements around payroll? Has things changed and you didn't know about it? These software tools that do payroll for you will keep you up to date on what's the latest and greatest about payroll that you need to know, and keep you compliant without you having to do all of the legwork. They tend to be fairly straightforward as far as automating payroll once you get it set up, and then making sure people get paid. Because at the end of the day, if you're hiring a team, we want to make sure, that they're getting their money, they're delivering on the work, and that you're able to focus on other things, not taking your time away from fixing payroll issues and having to deal with those headaches when you don't hire the right payroll support. And either payroll or a contractor, right? So even if you're going to pay contractors, it's better to have a tool that can track that for you automatically. How many payments have you issued to contractors? Are there any other compliance documentations from the accounting side that you need to be filing with a government, with, the state, wherever you're located doing business, and ensure that that's being tracked for you. So at the end of the year, you can just run one report, know how much you paid everybody, and if there's any forms you need to issue out to them to ensure that you stay compliant. Again, we're taking the guessing out of it, and we're taking the prone to make mistakes aspect of it by automating and having everything in one place.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, once you get to more than 2 or 3 staff, I mean, then quite getting to be quite a large organization in terms of hiring and firing and all the compliance issues, because you should be pretty savvy by then about what is required and what you need to do, and have processes in place and SOPs and all that sort of thing. So so there, would it be advisable still to use online accounting software, even if you say employ someone in HR that does the payroll?
Yeah, because they're not replacing your accounting automation. And that's what we're using the tool for more than anything. It's not necessarily the advisory side of it. We still want to have an advisor we can ask questions to and go to for situations that come up with either employees or contractors on how to best deal with it to stay in compliance and with the policies. But we do not want to remove that automation. So we always want to keep the software running in the background, doing that heavy lifting for us to free up time for us to go focus on dealing with those employee issues and situations that come up rather than trying to figure out why payroll is wrong or why you overpaid someone and have to chase them down to pay you back or why you underpaid someone and they're complaining about it. That takes care of itself in that way if you're doing it correctly. There's still some interaction you have to have with the software to tell it how many hours and how much people are getting paid, right? If it's salary, maybe it doesn't change. You just have to prove it every time you run payroll, but it does not, the consultant does not replace the tool per se. They're in addition to support you in your path as you continue to grow and scale.
Yeah, great advice. Carla, what are, I've lost my train of thought then. As a financial advisor, and you know what you do and how you help people, how do you help other businesses, you know, with their financial situation?
Yeah, for our business owners that are just starting up, we are working through a business plan and putting financials together for what their business needs to be achieving as far as revenue goals, cost allocation, margins, and profitability. Also what the owner needs to take home from their business. You know, even if it's not right now, down the road, we imagine they're going to continue to grow and generate more revenue. So we want to make sure that allocations are correctly, set up for business owners to thrive and have a business long term. I always say owning a business got to be better than a job. Otherwise, you might as well just work for that paycheck because at least you were getting paid and it was steady, right? But if a business can produce the same or more than, and give you the freedom and flexibility and allow you to build personal wealth, then it's really worth it for us to go after it and leave that job behind, right? So a lot of times we see a lot of business owners just not prioritizing them and paying themselves out of the business. And that's because the discipline didn't start early on when they first set up the business. And they say, one day I will pay myself. One day never comes. And then they're calling me because they have a 7-figure business and they don't know how they're not able to pay themselves. So we don't want anyone to go through that. We want you to get in the habit. It does not matter what the amount is that you're paying yourself. It matters that you are making it a habit and that you're disciplined about paying yourself something. And every time you grow the business, you increase that amount until you get to a point where you have an ideal salary for the type of work that you're doing, aka a market rate or something that, if I said, hey, Rose, do you want to come run this business for me and take the job that I have for me? And here's the salary that goes with it. You would say yes, instead of it's free and you will work a lot of hours and you will make no money. Would you like to take that job? Everybody would say, no, thank you. Right? And so that is the whole point, is that down the road, one day, you also could replace yourself by having the ideal salary. But in the early stages, I want you to really focus about creating that business plan and projections and goal setting so that you're proactive about the direction you're taking with a business on growing it, so that you don't get distracted by all the things that come up with, growing a business. You can buy the course and the coach and the thing and that, and all of those are created for you to spend money out of the business instead of generating money into the business. Now, if you're getting a great return on investment, an ROI from your coach helping you grow faster and quicker, helping you avoid mistakes, by all means, go ahead and make the investment. Just be very critical about, how is this benefiting my business and how am I going to see this money back? And if I don't, when does it stop? When do we end that investment and shift to the next one? Because I see too often people are just not getting the benefit and they're like, well, it's going to work. It's okay. One more month. And then 12 months later, they still haven't changed a thing. And they're out $5,000, $10,000 that they invested with no result to show. And scaling is hard. So you do want to have people that are guiding you along the way. Just make sure that you are getting that benefit. As you get farther into your journey as an entrepreneur, what is going to be really critical is for you to manage your expenses and making sure that you're allocating in the right places at the right time. And that comes with a lot of trial and error. And sometimes we will make expensive mistakes if we don't have someone to guide us along the way. So a lot of the work that we do with business owners is preventing them from making mistakes, helping them mitigate risk. We want to make sure that we're proactively planning those projections and financial insights for the business, analyzing current data trends and saying, this is working well, this is not, let's double down here, let's pull back on the cost on this one because we're not seeing the results. And on that scaling journey, profitability becomes the biggest thing that we need to manage, and cost allocation is one of it, but also is revenue growth. So we want to be partnering with the right marketing strategy or someone that can guide us on how to best get to our ideal client and make sure that they convert into paying clients.
Yep, sounds really great and very helpful to business owners, from startup right through to, the 5 and 6, 7 figure businesses. Your company, Wealth and Worth Within, whereabouts are they situated? And, who do you help? Like, I know it's business owners, but is it just nationally or internationally?
We work virtually with clients all over the US and international. Mostly US business owners, but we do have a few international clients that we love. And we are able to do so because everything is online and we're able to do our sessions and all of our analysis and present it via, a Zoom call and walk our clients through the framework that we have developed on the pillars that we want to focus on as far as how do we make a business long-term sustainable and profitable that allows you to have cash in the bank, pay yourselves, and create that personal wealth by investing the proceeds from the business into some other assets on your personal life. So we do have that flexibility, luckily, to work with everyone. Oh. Now, as far as like industry, you did ask about industry. So we work mostly with group health practices, interior designers, certified financial planners, retail, e-commerce. And we have other clients, online-based businesses and service-based businesses that we also are able to work with. And we really enjoy being able to be a partner and integrate ourselves in the business to really help drive the right decision-making when it comes to financial decisions the business owner needs to make.
That's quite a broad range of business types. And so I guess, what are maybe some insights to growing a business, from startup to, not just financially, but, through what other processes that you are aware of that people could grow to scale their business if they've used the coaches and, and still nothing's happened?
Yeah, I think that we underestimate our intuition as business owners to know what's right for our business. Nobody can know your business better than you do. Yes, you can get advice and guidance, and all of that is helpful, complementary to what you know about your business. And obviously, learning more about how to do business is also helpful. But I want business owners to tap into how they want to create their business and what works well for them. And, starting with you got to generate revenue, right? You got to focus on revenue generating activities. I see way too many business owners just being distracted and working on websites and logos and things that looks great and it's pretty and we all want to have, of course, but is that bringing paying clients to the door? And if it is, fantastic, because maybe that is the industry and the way that it's done. But, it could be as simple as you pitch with a Google document what your services are, and you get your first sign up client and you figure out how to process a payment, right? So it doesn't have to be complicated. You do not need all the website, the things, the presence, the ads in order to get started. I want you to focus on fastest path to cash in the bank. And I think that too many times we just make it so complex. We're going to throw this 12-step funnel and then one day we will collect money from our clients. They drop off step 6 because they're just tired, right? They're can I just give you money now? And we make it so hard for people to give us money. So think about how easy can you make that path to getting a yes and getting that cash in the bank. And focusing on that is going to help you for the first 6 figures in your business, right? So when you're first scaling to 6 figures, you got to sell anything to anyone, because you're kind of just trying everything and see what works and how you want to do it and who is your ideal client and how it resonates with them. Once you get to that 6-figure mark, because you're focused on those revenue generating activities, now it's time to start niching down and really understanding who are your ideal clients that you work with, who are the ones that you don't like working with, and the lessons learned from that, and then start getting into a much more narrowed pool of people that you want to work with, that you want to help. Because yes, you can work with anyone and you can help everyone, but if you're speaking to everyone, nobody's resonating with your message. So we want to make sure that we're really niching down, and that doesn't mean we can't work with, people outside of that niche that you're picking, but we want to make sure our message is really directed to those specific people that we enjoy working with and want to have as clients. And then other people will also feel attracted to that message. So we're not excluding, we're just very, very intentional about who we're speaking to, that we know we can get results to and help drive, amazing metrics and improve their business, because we've done the work to be able to do that and have the testimonials and have the evidence that works. And then what you realize is, in that scaling of niching down, getting to 7 figures, where it gets hard is we lose steam, or we get bored of offering the same thing over and over again. But that is really where the magic is, that consistency, the discipline to show up, the offering and selling constantly is going to help you scale, what you're building that team to help support that capacity. Where I see a lot of businesses go wrong is they build the demand for their business, but they don't have the capacity to deliver, and they fall flat on the execution. And then people are mad because you took their money and you're not delivering. So be careful with that balance as you're scaling to 7 figures, because it can get really crazy overnight. And all of a sudden everybody wants you and everybody wants to work with you, and you don't have the team in place to have that capacity to meet the demand of the business. And then once you're a mature business and you get into the 7-figure side of things, now you really have to be very intentional about where are you spending your time as a business owner. You no longer can be the one logging into QuickBooks and doing the books, right? You need to outsource those things and bring in the right expertise, really depth of expertise in a specific area to guide you along what's going to come next, so that you can scale from 1 million to 10 to 25 to 50. And along that, you're managing a bigger team. So your leadership skills need to also be on point. And if you don't have them, that's okay. You can develop them, but just be mindful, because that is going to be a bigger team that you no longer are going to have the pulse on, and you're going to rely on others to manage. So now you're going to be managing managers and be in that leader role and setting the vision and the direction for the company, as well as holding everyone accountable on execution.
Ah, love that. That was wonderful. Exactly.
Thanks.
The right steps you need to take, and put so very well. Thank you, Carla, for sharing that information with us all. Carla, if you were to give some words of wisdom to anyone who's starting up, and or any words at all really of wisdom that you'd like to share, what would they be?
I would say being a business owner is not easy. So it's not for the faint of heart, and it's not for the quick results and the quick wins. You're going to go through a lot of heartbreak. It's going to be really hard and challenging. Just know that you're doing something different and meaningful, and that not a lot of people are willing to do. Okay. So you should be proud of yourself for embarking in this venture, and then just know that consistency and discipline is really going to be necessary in order to thrive and achieve what you want to set yourself up to achieve. And I cannot emphasize enough that cash is going to be a critical aspect of doing business and managing business and lasting for a long time. So if you don't know how to manage cash, if you don't know how to save your cash, you don't know how to invest your cash, this is where it's going to be an issue, because you will run out of money before you run out of ideas. And I want you to educate yourself on how to manage cash, how to forecast and project and invest in the right areas in business, to make sure that you always have a cash runway. If things change, if the market is down, if clients are not paying on time, that you have a cushion, that you're not concerned about turning it around, because you now have 2-3 months to make a change, instead of I can't make payroll in 2 weeks. And that is the power that cash has in your business, and having the right amount to allow you to have some breathing room till things get better, until you can make a change to improve on them. I see way too many times where businesses just go, bankrupt because they did not manage their cash properly. And if anything, if you do nothing else right, make sure that you always have that cash runway and that you understand how that works in your business, the inflows and outflows, so that you're not caught by surprise.
Perfect advice. Absolutely perfect. Carla, where can people find you if they want to work with you or want to learn more about what you can offer them?
Yeah, we can be found on our website, wealthworthwithin.com. You can also sign up for our newsletter to learn about latest updates on what we're working on and offers on how to best reach us. We would welcome you to book a call with us if you're ready to hire an outsourced CFO and need support in your business today, and you're a established business owner, 2-3 years in business with a sizable team that needs a little bit more expertise. And if you're not ready to work with us, that's okay. We have a lot of free educational content on our social media at Wealth Worth Within. Make sure to follow us and subscribe. We love to share and educate business owners on everything finance so that they can thrive.
Carla, thank you for sharing that. It was great. So go to Carla's website if you want some free resources, or if you want to book a call with her, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to speak with you. Carla, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.